This is my review on Superman Brainiac attacks. So Brainiac is back again on the planet, and this is the Tim Daly continuity. They got Tim Daly again to play voice Superman. Not just any Superman, but his Superman from the anime series. That takes place in the same continuity as the Justice League series. And that dreadful series of Justice League Season 1. You know, instead of getting Tim Daly, they got some poser to pretend to play Tim Daly Superman, which was nearly as good of a performance. It felt kind of a phoned-in performance. That's probably the reason why it was so bad. Of course, then again, Kevin Conroy performance bad in season 3, rather than season 1, so maybe it wasn't that person's fault that was filling in Tim Daly's shoes. Maybe that wasn't just his fault. It was the writing also. Maybe Tim Daly knew how bad the screw-ups do Superman, and knows that they turn her into a punchline and easily to be defeated. Very easily with the slightest baby touch. But they fixed that later on in the second half, or second or third half in season. Later, that's only the first half of the season. They fixed that in the third or second half of season 1, but you just don't need. The good thing is you don't need to see season 1 to follow along the stories of season 2, but you do have to see the Superman the anime series to follow along the stories of season 2. Because a lot of season 2 of Justice League is like almost like feels like they expect you to know these characters and the history that Superman and Batman had fought against. Joker doesn't need any. Joker, you don't really need to see Batman the animated series to understand Joker, because Superman under the animated series was more like the. The thing is, the Superman the animated series was technically a better series, and I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off probably by saying this, but Tim Daly's Superman the animated series was a better series than Batman the animated series starring Kevin Conroy. Why? Well, because each story they told lead up to bigger and better things. And each story was connected to each other from beginning to end. The series started soon going up to starting into a hopeful, optimistic superhero full of hope to a hero that will get that gets brainwashed and turns against the people he once protected, and by the end he's that kind of a broken man, a broken soul, but he still wants to help people. He just lost faith in himself. So we really see it. The Justice League series, season 1, kind of butchered that whole change and character growth that Tim Daly Superman went through. And it was pretty traumatizing for him, so yeah. This seems like doesn't actually this feels like it takes place during the before Apocalypse, but after Superman is a well-known hero. This seems to feel like it takes place, but then we see modern technology. It takes place after that, after the series. Once we see Lois Lane with a cell phone, and I don't think we saw her with a cell phone in the animated series at all. At least not with a high-tech cell phone, like she has in this movie. So it's really kind of hard to pinpoint exactly when this takes place, but it's not bad. It's a perfectly fine standalone film. And you can imagine this taking place is somewhere in the timeline of the Tim Daly's animated series of Superman. Tim Daly's Superman actually made a trilogy of his Superman. This is the third installment, and the second installment is probably the most famous one. It's called Batman, and it's called the Batman Superman movie. That's the sequel. And the third one is called, this is the third one, Brainiac Attacks. But the first one is called Superman Last Son of Krypton, which tells the story of Superman and how he came to be, and it's a very powerful and emotional ride. Heck, all of these films are on a very powerful, emotional ride. So, yeah, it's one of the better superhero trilogies that I have seen, and I have reviewed the Batman Superman movie on my channel before, so you can go check that out if you want to. But here I'm reviewing Superman Brainiac Attacks. So, Brainiac Attacks is gathering data to feed. He basically feeds off. He feeds off data like some kind of leech, and Superman suits up. Finds out that makes his appearance as Superman. Makes his first on-screen appearance. Ends the film, and he delivers the line to Brainiac. Says, "Brainiac, it's time to log off." He says it way more badass than I am. Yes, I guess I just want to say this before we continue any further. Tim Daly and Henry Cavill are my two favorite Supermen who have ever played him of all time. I like Christopher Reeves, but I feel like Tim Daly puts more human into it. I feel he feels like much like Henry Cavill. I feel like he puts more of his brings more of Superman's humanity into the role. It's hard to say which one I like more, but right now I'm going to have to call it a tie between Tim Daly and Henry Cavill Superman. So it looks like he easily defeats Brainiac, only to find out Brainiac has something up his sleeve, and Lois Lane is in trouble again. She's falling, so he has to save her, saves her. And he points out, this is becoming a little bit of a cliche, and saying she really needs to be careful, because this is becoming a bit redundant, she points out. Even Jim points out this is becoming a bit cliche, and warns her not be careful and not go that high on this tower, because she's going to get hurt. So Jimmy wants to know why does she do these stupid, dangerous stuff, and she says to herself, because of him. And she's looking at Superman. Because of Superman is why she does, because she's in love. So she does stupid things for love. Makes sense. Okay. So while Superman goes back to fighting Brainiac after getting Lois to safely and keeping her leaves Jimmy in charge and babysitting her. He wins the fight, and Superman completely pulverizes Brainiac, and he's into a bunch of he's completely in a bunch of scraps. But his AI is still online. His chip is still online. His AI chip is still online. So Lex Luthor steals it for himself in order to team up with Brainiac. Brainiac ends up betraying Lex Luthor because he sees that he's more intelligent, more superior than him in every way. So this means this leads to two villains duking out and fist fighting each other while Superman is on a mission to save Lois Lane. Yeah, Lois Lane is dying and she's in a hospital because, well, she's on a date with Clark Kent. Well, being a food critic with Clark Kent, so it's sort of like a date. And she says that to Clark that he's a pretty good-looking guy. He can have a girlfriend, and it ain't girl he wants. Because it's just like there's nothing bad about him. He's probably catch. He's tall, he's handsome, he's smart, he's nice. Then she starts to. Then we see a little moment of Superman. Superman stands up straight. Clark stands up straight and dishes the whole hunchback for a minute, and almost blows it because she almost puts two and two together because she sees Clark without his hunchback. Yes, in the comics, and this is what I like about Tim Daly's Superman. Tim Daly's Superman in the comics and also in Tim Daly's Superman, part of the reason why no one knows why it's not just because he has glasses, why Superman has glasses, it's also because he hunches when he's Clark Kent. He hunches his back, so he wouldn't appear as intimidating or as confident. While preparing as that unslick and confident person, besides just giving a hunchback, in the comics anyway. So Lois Lane gets attacked by Brainiac, but she's only in her bloodstream. It's like some kind of poison, and Superman's infected with it. And that's why he's losing his strength. And it's why he's not 100% strong as he used to, and couldn't defeat Brainiac as easily. Because Brainiac blasted Superman before he started fighting, before he really got him from some good punches, and damaged Brainiac pretty good. But he could still keep on going. Lois is only human, unlike Superman. So when she got blasted with this beam of light that poisoned her bloodstream, which is still poisoning, was just slowly killing Superman, but he's still functioning enough to carry his own weight. Lois can't carry her own weight or stay awake because it's that serious. Because it was affecting Superman slowly and painfully, was affecting Superman very slowly, but very slowly, but not enough to lose all of his momentum and nerve endings being function. Lois is out cold and has to be taken to a hospital. So he goes to the Fortress Assault to Superman all by himself and analyzes Lois in a bloodstream Lois's bloodstream and his own blood. And the computer breaks down that they both got the Brainiac injected with some kind of poison that's slowly killing them, like it's some sort of virus, and the cure can only be found in the Phantom Zone. So Superman goes to the Phantom Zone willingly, just to save the love of his life. And he comes back from the Phantom Zone. He comes back from the Zone after fighting off several phantoms. He comes back from the Phantom Zone with the cure in his hand and cures Lois. And he reveals his identity as Clark and Superman are the same person after Lois says Clark. Then he takes her out of the hospital in a wheelchair. And then he starts to figure out So he starts to notice things how he can't remember how the heck he got back to Earth or how he left the Phantom Zone. So he starts to figure out, what if this isn't Metropolis, he says. So he starts to figure it out that he's not in Metropolis, he's still in the Phantom Zone hallucinating. It's a mirage what he's saying. And what he's seeing is not Lois, it's a phantom. So he just like leaves Lois, and she says, Clark, don't leave me. And he has a cure in his hand, and he says, you're not Lois, you're a phantom. The real Lois is still in the Metropolis. So he snaps out of it and flies off away from the Phantom Zone and delivers Lois the antidote. And the same thing happens. She guesses it is Clark, but he says, no, I'm Superman. After his investments, Flintstone started to change him point of view of revealing his secret identities to Lois Lane, and that was the dilemma. He filled out the entire third act structure. He was thinking of revealing himself to the love of his life, his secret, his Superman identity, and tell Lois that Clark and Superman are the same person, because he felt like she's just going to figure out eventually. And then Superman decides that's probably best to save, the only way to keep Lois safe and out of harm is to become a full-time Superman and bury Clark Kent and forget about him and quit his job at the Daily Planet. So he goes back to the Daily Planet, and Jimmy and the Jimmy Olsen and Jerry White, I think that's his boss name. Anyway, can tell that Clark's still grieving, that's why he wants to keep his distance from them and wants to spend more time being alone, because he can tell, his boss can tell he can't really handle Lois being sick, because he can tell he really cares about her. And anyway, he goes to, after this is like throughout the free act structure, once Lois gets poisoned and in the hospital. So Jimmy can't understand. Then Jimmy's explained by his boss that Clark is not handling the whole Lois in the hospital well. So that's why he wants to probably keep his distance, not want to see her like this. So because he can tell he really loves her a lot. So I really like these shows the soft side, the human side of Superman's boss, Clark Kent's boss. It's Barry White. Of Barry White's the boss of Clark Kent. They showed more of the compassionate human side of Barry White. The spectacular Spider-Man did the same thing with J. Jonah Jameson. But he's not that he wasn't that same jerkish character that was a bit of a loudmouth. He was, but he had more of a humanity, softer side when it came to Peter Parker. The same can be said for Barry White when it comes to Clark Kent. Also, that's Superman. So, he goes the next day after making a decision to become a full-time Superman. He goes to get ready to quit his job. Then he sees Lois is getting ready to run into danger and get a scoop of the story. And he realized that she is a bit of a wild card, whether he's around or not, as in while Clark Kent's around or not. And Barry says, "You wanted to tell me something? Oh, it's nothing important. I just want to say I can't take vacation time." I missed the game too much. And I can't take the promotion. I would miss the game. Oh, he says, I can't take a desk job. I would just miss the game too much. That's all. Nothing really serious. Nothing serious and important. And so he goes up flying as Superman. Goes up, changing into Superman. While Barry says to himself, "Welcome back, Kent." And Superman's monologuing when he's turning to Superman, and he says to himself, I think as long as Clark Kent and Superman are in Lois Lane, she's going to be just fine. So, that was Superman Brainiac Attacks. I really love this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10. I give the Batman v Superman movie a 10 out of 10. Then I'm going to review Superman the Last Son of Krypton, which is the first Tim Daly Superman movie in the Tim Daly Superman trilogy. And I thought the end is on a really high emotional note that felt very personal for Superman. So I thought it was a great send-off to his character. To Tim Daly's Superman character. And this was the last time I ever saw Tim Daly play Tim. This is the last time Tim Daly plays Tim Daly Superman for. I don't know if he plays. This is the last. This is the last time we actually have ever visited Tim Daly's Superman world, and the last time we're probably going to get a look at it. And I like the part when he's fighting Brainiac after he took the antidote, and after he took some of the antidote and meant to give the rest to Lois, he actually has to fight Brainiac when he's on the way to the hospital while Lois is clinging to her life. And this is after Brainiac has kicked the loving out of shit out of Lex Luthor's exosuit. And Lex Luthor's completely rooting for Superman, and says, "Yay, Superman's back!" He said, "Everyone knows that Superman's back. Holy crap, it's Superman!" And Lex Luthor said, "Yay!" So, he rips, completely annihilates Brainiac, but not without breaking a serious sweat. Seriously, and the only thing, the thing that's like at stake here is Lois's. You ever see the thing that's at stake here is not Superman's life; it's Lois, the love of his life. So, and this fight, the climax goes on for quite a while actually, and then Superman wins and destroys the AI chip and goes to Lois Lane while she's still in the hospital, barely hanging in there, and gives her the antidote in the nick of time, and goes. Well, he kind of is late. I'm sorry, nick of time. I'm sorry, remember that. He is late. He gives her the antidote, and turns out she's completely flat. After that, she just goes completely flat, like she can't hang in there anymore. So Superman starts crying and gets so emotional, and Superman gives her a goodbye kiss on the lips, and she comes back to life because of, I guess I don't know how it works. It's through because I don't know. It's just a good movie. I'm not trying to question the logic of it. This film, I love it too much. So that's when Lois Lane says, "Clark," and he says, "No, I'm Superman." Yeah, and that's the whole film. I give this a solid 10 out of 10. Oh wait, I already did that. So I guess I should just end this video, right? Yeah. Up and away.